can't get the link to work that I created. I'm just gonna.
Patty Burger. What yours is? Leading screen. That's damaged. North Farms. Yeah.
All you want me to get on Facebook and see if it's working.
Oh, there you go. Ooh, they're great. $9. Trying to find that link. Like included walls also.
Looks good to me.
Like the other link doesn't work.
Okay. Shit.
Okay, here's the light from there. Try that.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Yep. Hey, short of somebody being here. Okay, use my. Okay. We were working on. No, I was afraid I was running.
Tomorrow.
I didn't think it. Hearing these dated stuff, just sit there and write stuff. Do the same thing I'm doing. Sit in the shower. Put your thoughts together.
Yeah, I've seen.
All right. Cool. All right.
Good. How's the party planner? This thing on?
It is. It is. Updated link.
Forgot it.
Oh, look, it's here.
You're an asshole.
How slow is it? Is it not live?
It is, but it takes a lot.
Two people on. Just get the person.
Probably the computer itself.
I have a new link I shared.
There's 4 people now.
Say somebody wants in like Taiwan or something.
No one likes it. They like it.
Yes. Let's get it trending. What's that? Wait, where are they?
It's like,
You're showering.
I showered this morning.
But then again, you want to show. Right, exactly. Yeah.
So we only want to make sure Mason doesn't forget about being conditions.
What's that?
So I want to make sure Mason doesn't forget about being quality.
Where's Laura? Show me both.
What?
Call Laura.
What? No, I don't want to.
But again,
She had yeah, the night watch person never showed up.
Oh, boy. It's the first time or the second time or?
I don't know.
Like, isn't that like a whole like change your car? It's like you can't leave until the next person shows up.
I don't know.
Can't believe that you're getting involved in this.
Sunglasses.
People were at 10.
actually, I think that's right.
It's not.
Is it track?
The profit when you inherited the profit or the profit when you gave them a year to operate. We felt okay about that. We just didn't feel good about it. And I said, what do you feel good about? Oh, yes. We were okay with 1 year. We felt we needed to go with something else. We just didn't feel good.
Okay, so
What's that?
Cargo where?
What is that? Oh, let me put it in quotes.
how's it going?
They weren't coming.
What the ring is, your.
No, swear to God.
Understand where it comes from.
They had political science. Swear to Christ, they're coming out like you get this up.
No.
It's
just
just
that
been,
real
it's
match.
just been.
Huh? Yeah, you're way too early.
It's good. Honestly,
You know what?
I,
Plenty of fun. Plenty of fun. Shots.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, I grabbed it first one, so.
Oh, okay, right.
Ready? Well, I was just like,
This family,
I was gonna run and drop them and.
You don't expect the rest of the She's the organization. District. She.
Yes.
They
They did their own vows. I'm surprised that those words came out now, but no, I mean, it's, you know, and how they got it. Yes.
That was an hour ago.
and right now, they're-
That's salmon. It's called the hot. You don't know the color.
I thought you meant the normal.
This is a normal color.
No, that's red.
No, that's not red.
That's
That's red.
It's safer to sit next to
red.
you.
That's orange.
I'm not. I'm down a planted here. I doubt a planted here was good.
Yes, Savannah.
I'm just sitting to sit right now.
Yeah, that's.
The seats might be a little wet.
Go for a walk.
No. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I figured you'd be a little bit closer to the parking lot.
Hey, Toba, I bet you can't get in that boat over there. You can't climb in that.
You're talking about this stuff. You could ask her about.
Oh, there's a boat over there. Go in that boat.
You bring that dress up. Place it, okay?
That she and I.
684.com.
Check. Put it on my tab.
Yeah.
Ask the general.
Anything, I just telling you that.
How would you not have ice cream? Look at me.
Well, ice cream we couldn't share. And the candy had dye in it, we checked. All the candy had dye.
What about Steffi?
Yeah, I didn't know it's something.
Two, check, 1, 2. Check. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am Michael St. Louis, Assistant Chief Investigations Division.
Oh, you sound really official.
Thank you.
No, like for real.
Check.
You make it.
Check. Semblance. Check.
Oh, everything.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, just these ones.
It's wiring.
I like that one, yeah, so it's better than it was at least.
Thank
Stays
you.
Matt.
My dress.
Go. Go touch that fence and come back. I'll time you. Ready? Set. One at a time. You see how fast? I bet you can do it.
There's like, it's like a puddle, so I think you missed it.
Oh, I do see.
Yeah, I got it.
Somebody,
What?
Somebody put it.
not me. So let's go for a walk. Yeah, do you have your body before you're?
That's not that. That's the drug. Shift the thing, same, but large charge of people, I think.
The true 14th.
I didn't sleep. It's not bad. I just couldn't sleep.
So we're putting a sign right.
Yes.
I was asleep at 1 and up at like, yeah. I was asleep probably. I was late at bed.
Sunday at some point. We I gotta do my electric. When I get home.
Oh, yeah, that's what you were saying.
Yeah. But Jess and I had plans for next week. Andrew's at summer camp next week.
Is what?
Andrew's at summer camp next week. Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Besides Natalie, Jess is like, Jess is not working right now. That's our plans were to go to Camelback. Monday, they did the Camel Beach area. They did tour out to the water park. Natalie, we want like, want to go pick her up the weekend. Monday night, we were planning on going down one night. But I got to go top of it. We're on top of the board one night. I figured.
They gotta go with it.
So we for that surgery. I was like, what are we gonna do? So I have to be trying to get the electric on. That's my top priority right now.
Where are the kids right now?
With Lisa,
Like, is there what's going on for Andrew? Yeah, or anything?
Andrew's probably not doing football.
Really?
All summer they've had summer practice. 8 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and he just chose not to go. I'll go in August. I'm like we might be start showing up now. Like the team, like it's not gonna be strong. Like it's all like a strength training, speed training. You know, learning each other, or the teammates. Like not so good. I don't want it. I don't like it, bro. I'm like, all right. Here comes August. Like, yeah, he had a friend. Everyone's on the playbook. Everyone's on positioning. He's like, oh, probably too big to start doing this. I'm like, cool. So I need you to find something else. And you gotta find something else. Not just this is a college resident, build some friends. So it's more than just checking a box. So we'll see what else we'll do. Because I'm doing that. You've done that as like all right with the mics. What's your song? Yeah, to do for the middle school. Definitely do that. Thankfully, like no trips to Florida for cheerleading. Yeah, just cheer for the middle school. Be like either volleyball, one of the golf, fly, or all the schools.
I think I'm gonna walk around.
I mean, it's.
Listen here.
Yeah.
I hope it makes you.
We can look half an hour later.
We go back and start all over.
By the time we get home, we gotta turn on and come back.
He's got so many people.
Would not make sense to me.
That's not.
Yeah, he's going in for his procedure. Is that done?
So this tank, it's 5 different types of he's got some 50 amps out of his house.
Not as wide. I thought that was.
What's that? What makes
Yeah. So I think like.
Tell me everything I need to know. When I version of the motion is so
not quite as low, but it's quite wide.
So,
Yeah, so that.
Like, do you just like, have your life? I guess in theory, it's yeah.
I'm gonna go train tomorrow.
I thought you were running.
I was going to, but.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Because it's staff over here.
No, because
You need to have that
got really
side.
late. I just think that by 10 o'clock, and we're on to 11:30. But mom, I just put like, no, like, it's like, I'm looking at that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna make sure, I gotta knock out right 60 miles tomorrow. I need to ride.
Did you bring your bike?
Usually I start to trail.
Did you next France? France? No. You did? Awesome.
No.
College. Yeah, there's in college too. And went to Boulder, which is my number. So
That's awesome.
$1,000 tickets to show up, not including class and everything.
When is that?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. She's unemployed right now. It's a job. It's organized.
It's off to be a nice day, not too hot yet.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little breeze, keep the air fresh.
You know, start the process.
Morning, how you doing?
He's good for at least. She was we was rolled out.
Not taking the kids. Oh, that's right. That's right.
My oldest is home.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
That's awesome.
21, he's just living life. He's gonna job.
So,
Not bringing my bike.
friends and courts.
Yeah, so like training right now, like sort of priority for me.
Yeah.
I race in only 3 sets. Yeah, that's why I've done it. Not really, it's fun race, but it's like ride. Sport, you get out of the water. Heavy is kind of go through some bigger things. Heavy is kind of stay down. Ride expressway.
Good, she's 10, we hit it.
It's still wet.
Keeps me going.
That's not same water. That's
Keeps you
just wet.
You ought to put the swim like in the middle.
Oh, yeah. But I went out to the Bronx and more because you know, the one side you got the cedars on the other side, but it's the stale short hair. But heart rate, but there's no whatsoever. People were just so high. Yeah.
Now, was Atlantic City at halftime?
So there's 4 sides. There's sprint.
He's changing up on the ship right now. One dunk, he's there. One gas station. That's beautiful, but it has.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, that's been changed. Oh, that's just not, that was.
They're on that. You know the same thing. I live right down in Southern Maryland. I'll help you in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. You can go 3 roads from my house without seeing yellow lines. It's not very much. It's yellow lines. It's just sticks. We have in town. I want to go get something. I can go up and like coffee tree or yeah, it's 20 minutes.
This is the best.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, that's good. We warrant. It's over there. He actually had a lot of mail.
Your thing's gonna order, right? Well, he's the only guy that knows how to.
Okay, perfect. It's all on your app. Yeah. What's the next?
How long you
You know, from Alaska.
Oh, I fly back Monday.
I did.
Yeah, I got here.
Everybody else is like this.
Thank you.
Okay.
Massive.
That's the end of my trip.
Way to wrap it up, huh?
It's funny, I think it's changed since I got to go back to work. I was gonna say, it's not like I have all the old
And it seems like only yesterday I brought Mason here for a college visit. Yeah.
Time flies.
It's how ironic where he, celebrating his retirement on campus where
We're all started. Yeah. Pretty cool, actually.
yeah,
It's a shit house. Works perfect.
Mine started at Cape May, New Jersey. It's not a place I wanted to end up retiring out of.
He's still driving this piece of.
and it's funny because you mentioned Cape May. I don't know if that's what got his mind started, but
Yeah.
our
that's right.
Boy Scout
I
troop
remember-
that maybe
I had
all the
one-
boys were in.
That's
We used to take the boys down every May and camp on the base.
got leather, and that,
And they would set us up, not with the main chow hall, but they had like a visitors mess hall. And, we'd eat in there and stuff and always, got a tour of the firehouse, got a tour of the buoy tender, when the helicopter was there, we, get the boys a tour of by the helicopters. We ended up with
that needs to be lashed.
4 or 5 boys that were in the troop that ended up
You don't
were going into Coast Guard.
We're worried.
We're not gonna go first, that's the second time almost, mine's, we're now involved, and we just hit the ground.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
Spear on
Is that right?
That was always, boys always look forward to that trip, visit Cape May. It was kind of neat, because, we camped right in that field, right by the water. And,
Well, thank you, yeah.
in the morning, you'd hear the cadets out there, starting their march and, doing their stuff, and their calisthenics.
Yeah, I lucked out. I got into the band while I was in boot camp, and so missed a lot of that stuff. And actually, it was nice because they would actually have us go and march in parades and places and stuff. And that was get off the camp.
Easy duty.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well,
Yeah.
you mentioned that.
And I've always,
Mason plays, I don't know the last time he had one in his hand, but played the clarinet, played the sax. And when he started here, every morning, all the cadets line up out here for formation. Well, thinking he got involved with the band when it was cold out. They held the band inside the dining hall till everybody was out. They'd step out, they'd play colors, and they were like the last ones out, the first ones back in, because they had to keep their instruments in tune.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, he found a way to beat the system. If there's a way to, make life easier, he's going to figure it out.
Yes, he is.
well, this is a part of the world where everybody who's got this sort of time, it doesn't believe it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, you just went, you just took it to another level.
Got it.
All right,
Doesn't see how
field one.
There you go. It was falling that way. We'll walk it down. Right.
Listen, a small piece of line type of.
I thought we had trench coat around here.
Wow, it's a little bit too much gold seed. What'd you get? What about the other? Yeah, it's you know, it's like what? How'd you find that?
Okay.
Oh, all right, so there is a.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be more significant. maybe that's symbolic. It's the most
Exactly.
that's a Mason.
So, no, I was gonna say, Mason. I had a chair. Or are we gonna hot? I mean, here's the thing. Oh.
Show off the new guys. It's not like a guy being straight bad. Same operator. He's a little eccentric. He's a little eccentric. He sends out two way. Oh yeah, yeah. Right. So oh sure. Right. So what running the operation. So he was there. That group is represented. Well,
Which actually, so we went in the store.
Right.
Had to go through and plug in install everything. And then had to go through a set of doors that locked, so we could get back out. So I come up there. But this door, like this side door, it's up to where that.
Yeah.
It's up to a door that's open.
I figured, because this is a mess tap, I figured it had to be bad.
Oh, program.
So let's bring it. I'm gonna skip. I'm
Just gonna read it.
Sure, you know what?
And, I'm gonna go to no, I'm sure. Right?
We just got to
Okay, oh, it's on.
You reference I it's like ask them.
I've argued with him already, so I'm not gonna jump in here. We disagree with this.
Look, there are some parts of that permit that you can use, like the averaging, even like the sale hitting. So. About the steal.
What do you do? And you look at all.
That's somehow takes load out of it.
And don't respond.
Season, maybe I'm not, but she was. We were giving them Gave me you.
I almost did it out loud. I thought about just forgetting Scott.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm saying. Exactly. That's why I said. I have to get out at the same time. I gotta be on the West Coast. Nobody like you. Want to work with Bob for a couple of reasons. This view. Basing everything on that experience. As a summer. She's home. It's like 7 it's gonna be. Get it out. She's so aggressive. More, let's go out.
Or come down.
Still.
Yes. So nice to meet you. I was looking at it like, she's kind of familiar.
Just waiting for the Coast Guard to make it.
Oh, wait.
So he had everything. Well done, like he's been doing for the last 25 years. Still doing it. So their problem was he brought so long.
There were 8 pictures. And that's a question. Another one that.
They never said anything.
I didn't see it.
Well, so the details.
Oh, this is making this
Just saying, on the face of this item, on paper, MSD supervisors. Oh, yeah. We didn't.
kind of doing that.
The original Trump.
Imagine that. He doesn't get excited. Where are you gonna go?
What sign? Yeah. Stands up, turns in that direction. Yeah. And then he goes to the Great Lakes and he comes back double bags.
Chaos in the traffic.
Why don't you sit here so I this and then you can have to go right next to it.
Somebody else designed it, so she's like,
Yours?
Okay.
Let me have it first. Let me have it first. Thank you. All right, so you're looking for what? This? Is that what you're looking for? This? Are you good with it? You should by yourself?
Sorry, I'm so sweaty.
Make the name of the game.
We got the full one. See you back at the house. That's Mario.
Tell me a game I can put on my phone.
Yeah, that's time.
Yeah, okay.
Don't download anything until I say yes.
Get there. All beers. Going in. I don't care how not perfect it is.
Here's my last one.
It's just doing it.
Keep the girls out.
Hitting by- the chef is fine.
See how the-
Takes where you want.
Probably get longer setup. This works.
So you guys are you're ahead of.
Oh, we even tried 4 legs. 15. Got out of control.
Right here. Yeah, see, it's not. L-O-A-D-I, loading, right? That means it's almost ready. See how it's going around? See how it's going? It's got the line on it.
Well, then they hang the hard part on it. That's the technical. Nobody tells them.
You can easily go back.
I don't know how to work it.
You guys are sitting in your first row.
You have to be open to it.
Hey, how's it going?
I haven't been back since.
That'll do the trick.
Always way too late. And they've screwed it up. It's like Somebody.
So, how you doing?
Hey.
I mean,
Oh, wait. I don't know.
Yeah, that's all.
Let's go.
He was a straight bowling guy now. That's not. That's not nice.
Oh, yeah.
Right back.
Oh, yes. Oh, the guy over there.
The world has changed.
I don't enjoy it.
No.
I just got one of those public shows.
That's what I want to give it to you.
Good morning, everybody. Great to have everybody's attention real quick. Anybody needs to use the restroom before the ceremony begins, you follow this concrete path up here to the left of the building. And there's restrooms in that hallway. We're getting ready to get started in about 10, 15 minutes.
What's going on, Ed? How's things? How are you doing? Doing all right. Running all over the place. She's visiting our friends on the coast, so she dropped me off. Now I'm going to Mason. And then, besides Mason,
She did good.
I was like, I'm sure I can find somebody to figure out. And then either she's picking me up at Mason or beautiful full and clouds. Yeah, so pretty close. How's the last one? Done now. That's awesome. Emily down. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's
I'm worried about.
But I have to for like 2 years to get out from under my lease for my I don't know where. Yeah. So crazy. They used to have like bounce around the city. Oh yeah, yeah. She was actually so like last hung out. She's an expert.
Oh, okay. I see.
Everybody, that's why. Got it.
You're gonna meet your brothers.
Oh, no, no. All the water bottles. I'm even more happy now. So whatever that porta potty goes to the next job site. Listen, you put it somewhere like when you're sitting down and you're sitting in your pants. Think about it, like you have a clock every morning.
Good morning, everybody. Can I have your attention for a second? Just want to say, Brian, can get started here in about 10 minutes. We'll let some folks keep trickling in. If anybody needs to use the restroom, this concrete walkway to the left, you over here, you can follow that into the building, and there are restrooms in there. But other than that, please make sure to take this time to silence any cell phones or electronic devices. Like I said, we'll get ready to get started here in about 5 or 10 minutes.
You guys hear me?
But yeah, she got my short caps from
I myself.
and my one of my guys. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so getting tired. And, now I'm gonna be that's what was fun.
That's a rare.
So let me,
Son used to do the audio.
One of your right, we're gonna have a few guys get started here in a few minutes. Everybody can make your way to the seats. Well, let's find the seats. We get a chance, make sure everybody silences your cell phones or electronic devices, whatever you got for the duration of the ceremony. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. I am Mike St. Louis, Assistant Chief of the Investigations Division, Coast Guard Sector Southeastern New England. Now will be your master of ceremonies for this morning. Officiating today's ceremony is Captain Eric Christensen, U.S. Coast Guard retired, Director of Regulatory Affairs and Risk Management for the Passenger Vessel Association, and former Chief Traveling Inspection Staff and National Centers of Expertise. Also joining us today is Rabbi Todd Zinn of the Founding Jewish Congregation. Before we begin the official portion of the ceremony, I'd like to remind everybody to take the time to silence all electronic devices for the duration of the ceremony. Military members will follow my directions for honors and remain uncovered for the ceremony. During the national anthem, guests not in uniform should stand facing the flag with their right hand over their heart. Also, please follow my lead for initiating applause throughout the entirety of the ceremony. Welcome to the retirement ceremony for Commander Mason Wilcox. We gathered here to observe the time-honored tradition of retiring Commander Wilcox from active duty service in the United States Coast Guard after 21 years of distinguished service. I'd like to acknowledge all of Commander Wilcox's family members and friends who are here today to celebrate this occasion, especially his wife, Captain Laura Wilcox, their daughters Margot and Madeline, his mother Lisa, father Randy, stepmother Sandy, brothers Devin and Brandon, Brandon's wife Tara, his in-laws Linda and Ben, as well as Laura's siblings Rachel and Peter. Also like to recognize a few VIPs while we're acknowledging folks. Captain Moon, Captain O'Connell, Captain Chang, Captain Doyle, Captain McDonald, Captain Fitzpatrick, Captain Schultz, Captain Joffrian, Captain Metcalf, Captain Kitchen, Captain Simmons, Captain Dean Ranville, Colonel Van Vulcan, and Captain Campbell. At this time, I would ask all those who are able to rise for the arrival of the official party, please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem and the invocation. Now, Commander, the United States Coast Guard arriving. Now, Captain, United States Coast Guard retired, arriving. Rabbi Zitt will now offer the invocation.
Distinguished guests, friends, and family, welcome. The psalmist wrote of the mariner, "Let them give thanks to God, and for the wondrous acts towards all humanity, let them give thanks. Let them sing of God's deeds where they live. They who go down in the sea to ships, doing work in rolling waters, they have seen the work of God and God's wonders of the deep. You raised the storm in stillness, and its waves grew silent. They rejoiced that the waters were now quiet, and God led them to the towns of their desire." That's what we offer prayers over this morning as we begin this sacred ceremony. Please prepare yourselves as we join together in prayer. We give thanks for Mason's decades of service. We give thanks for the dedication of his family. For 21 years, Commander Mason Wilcox has stood the watch. As a Marine safety officer, as a master of his craft, Mason, you are the person that shipmates and industry partners depend on to get a straight answer, even in those memorable occasions when they did not particularly like what you told them. Your dedication ensured that our waters remained secure, that the industry thrived safely, and that our mariners were protected. Whenever a crew needed direction, whenever a shipmate needed strength, or whenever the complex challenges of the marine world required a steady hand, you stepped forward. You did not wait for others, you led with courage, integrity, and deep humility, ensuring that those around you were supported, trained, and brought home safely. We are grateful to you for your wife, Laura, and your daughters, Margot and Madeline, for the commitment that they shared with you. Serving in uniform is not a solitary activity. Instead, one only successful because of the love, commitment, and support of your family. They who go down to the sea in ships. We offer gratitude and thanks for the countless hours, attention to detail, and honest assessments, so that when the waters roiled and the waves grew, the ships continued to pass safely and the seafarers were able to return home. Now that the storm is still, the waves are silent, we rejoice with you as your watch ends. May this ceremony be a fitting testimony to your lifetime of dedicated service, defined by the core values of the United States Coast Guard: honor, respect, and devotion to duty. Together we say, Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Zinn. Ladies and gentlemen, you can be seated. I guess the best part of being MC is I get to get my fun part out of the way first. So, when Mason asked me to be master of ceremonies for his retirement, there was mixed reactions, absolutely, and why me? With a mixed bit of frustration that we're even discussing his retirement. As I look around at the sprawling audience, I can't help but feel humbled that Mason could have asked anyone, and that he would even consider having asked me to serve as his MC. I mean, there's at least one of you in the crowd that thinks just because your initials are MC, that you should always be in control of the microphone. But you get your chance to talk when we get back to Mason's house, Mark. As a part of the question of why me, I thought back to the first time I met Mason, and it's not something that you usually forget. It was a beautiful Coast Guard Training Center, Yorktown, on the 8th of January, 2007, the first day of Port State Control Officer course. As I settled into my seat for the first day of a 5-week course, I vividly heard this obnoxious laugh coming from the other side of the classroom over all the chatter and everything else that was going on. And I remember leaving it over to Ron Caputo and going, who the F is this loud a-hole? That question would soon be answered, as with most training courses, the first order of business is personal introductions. Mason's introduction checked no boxes on my we should be friends bingo card. Mason Wilcox from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, currently assigned to Sector, New York, graduate of Massachusetts Maritime Academy. Go Eagles. In case any of you haven't picked up on it, I grew up in Massachusetts. And actually, we tend not to get along with folks in New Jersey, especially not Philadelphia fans. I also happen to graduate from the United States Merchant Marine Academy, United States Maritime School. And for those of you that are somehow unaware, Mason's a bit of an extrovert. And for those of you who don't know me, there's good reason for that. I am an introvert. Under no circumstances would it make sense for me, an introverted Kings Point masshole, to be friends with an extroverted Mass Maritime graduate Eagles fan from New Jersey. But here we are. I can distinctly remember calling my wife after that first day of training to recap how the day had gone, asking her how she was making it out at home with the boys. When I told her about Mason, I described him with one word: abrasive. However, thanks to the band NoFX, even a shaggy like me can learn that Mason has a lot of chutzpah with a touch of Meshuggah. So what happened? How'd we get here? Mason and I bonded over the reason that we joined the Coast Guard, to help improve the maritime industry and ensure those who don't adhere to the rules are held accountable. Our shared understanding of the troubles in the maritime community from our own first-hand experiences led us to join the regulatory body of the Coast Guard. It didn't matter where we were from, what school we went to, we shared a vision. But then Port State Control training ended, we all returned to our respective units to carry on with life. Then in December 2007, I returned to Yorktown for Marine Inspector course. Much to my relief, no Mason. I love Mason, but he's easier to tolerate in smaller chunks, not 5-week courses. But then in October of 2008, I got to go back to Yorktown again for investigating officer course. And you'll never guess who was in my class. The abrasive Eagles fan from New Jersey. And if that wasn't karma trying to tell me something, in May of 2009, I attended suspension verification course. Not only was Mason in my class, he was now my roommate. And for the record, he did not push our beds together. At the time, I wasn't sure what I'd done to deserve this treatment from the universe, but I can say with absolute sincerity that I wouldn't change anything about it. Over the last 19 years, Mason has become one of my closest friends. You can ask anyone, there are only 4 people for whom I will answer my cell phone without question. My father, my wife, my best friend Doug, and Mason. The rest of you can text me or leave a message. Like I told you, I'm an introvert. After completing all these Coast Guard trainings together, we were stationed together for the first time at Coast Guard headquarters in 2012. And not the nice new one, old headquarters. And then on May 22nd, 2013, the Geico Insurance Company ruined my life. Every Wednesday from that day forward for the rest of our tour at headquarters, every time I walked into our section of cubicles, I would hear, Mike, 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 what day is it, Mike? And in 2015, I was kindly asked to depart the ranks of the active duty workforce for the Coast Guard, and I thought that was the end of my time with Mason. But to my surprise, I was hired as a civilian investigator at Sector Southeast New England. And even more surprising was Mason showing up at the unit as well after short touring out of headquarters. Then after a 3-year tour in Alaska, Mason officially joined the ranks of the D1 Mafia with his 3rd tour in District 1, where he joined the district prevention staff, followed by his final tour here at Sector Southeast New England, the prevention department head. So over the 21 years of service, we've worked closely in the same office or very close proximity for 11 of them. Come to think of it, maybe let me MC today as a consolation prize for helping keeping them from getting fired for all those years. But at the end of the day, I know that if the roles were reversed, and I were the one asking Mason, he would say yes without hesitation and without checking his calendar. Because that's the kind of guy Mason is. That's who he really is. A man with the biggest heart who strives to ensure that everyone feels included. A man who cares so deeply that it hurts. Once you get through the outer abrasive layer and find your way through the chutzpah and the meshugana, that is what you will find. That is the man we celebrate today, and I thank you, Mason, for allowing me to be part of this momentous occasion with you. Love you long time. That's it, I'm done. Retirement ceremonies are a time-honored tradition marking the completion of one's military service and the beginning of a new chapter in life. We are assembled here today to pay tribute to Commander Wilcox, who is retiring after 21 years of faithful service to his country. Please join me as we welcome to the podium the presiding official and guest speaker, Captain Eric Christensen. There's an old adage that comedians often use to say never follow somebody funnier than you. So I'm about to do that. I think Mike St. Louis is probably the funniest investigating officer in the Coast Guard. And I did not realize that, even though we carpooled together at Coast Guard headquarters for what, 2 years? Yeah. So yeah, and that's harder for an introvert to be interested. So I just want to say there's a lot I can talk about with Mason because I was there at the beginning. I had nothing to do with shaping his personality, but maybe some career things I did. But so I've got my notes, and I may deviate. And those of you that know me know that I never met a podium I didn't like. And so, but I committed to Mason and Mike that I've got a solid 15 minutes here, so don't want to go on too long. But again, it's my honor to be here. And just like Mike said, when Mason called me and said, put my letter in, I'm going to retire, I want you to be the presiding official, my, of course, response was, isn't there somebody more qualified who might actually still be in the Coast Guard that could do this? And
of course, again, the only thing I had to check with my calendar was my son got married last weekend. So I just wanted to make sure that Mason's retirement was not on my son's wedding, because that would have been a non-starter. So again, Eric Christensen, Director of Regulatory Affairs and Risk Management with Passenger Vessel Association. Again, I'm honored to be here. 21 years is a good career, faithful, honorable service to the Coast Guard. And, you know, this is a pretty fitting location as far as his retirement goes. Massachusetts Maritime Academy, a place of professional and personal significance in Mason's life. It's where he chose to pursue a career in the Coast Guard, as well as a young freshman named Laura. But we'll get into that. Retirement ceremonies are time-honored traditions that formally recognize the completion of active duty service for military personnel. They mark a departure of a shipmate who has faithfully served our country and the United States Coast Guard. This ceremony is also dedicated to Mason's family for the sacrifices which they have made in support of this military service. With that said, I would especially like to welcome Mason's wife, Laura, and their two daughters, Margot and Madeline. I'd also like to welcome Mason's and Laura's extended families, who Mike already introduced, so there's no sense in me reintroducing everyone. I would also like to thank the audience. What a group. This is Mason. Again, to bust them in from all over. You know, I see some marine industry folks out there, and I am sure they're here just to make sure that Mason's actually retiring. So I met Mason at Sector New York in 2005. I was the prevention department head, and Mason was an apprentice marine inspector right out of Mass Maritime. As a State Maritime Academy graduate myself, Cal Maritime Class of '87, I have a particular fondness for Maritime Academy graduates, or MARGRADs. Remember, we all talk in acronyms. So MARGRAD is the first acronym. The curriculum is tough, not only academically, but also, at least for state maritime academies, hands-on. Our training ships, until very recently, were used up merchant or research vessels handed down by the Maritime Administration. Cadets learned their trade by keeping the bucket running to the next livery port, right? So Maritime Academy schedules are arduous, balancing high course load with watch standing, license prep. We'll get to that. There is a bond between MARGRADs, even akin to graduates of military academies. Regardless of where you went to school, you have a pretty good idea what your fellow MARGRADs went through to graduate. How many MARGRADs in the audience? Come on, raise them. Love it. Okay. When you meet a fellow MARGRAD, what is the first question you ask? Deck or engine? Right? Right. Everyone nod in agreement. All right. So imagine my surprise when I asked a young Ensign Wilcox the MARGRAD question, by which he would be further judged. Deck or engine? I didn't go through the licensing program. I don't have a license. You're kidding, right? I mean, who goes to a maritime academy and doesn't get a license? How did you get into the Coast Guard through the MARGRAD program anyway? Facilities and environmental engineering. Well, that's one way. All right. At least he wanted to be a marine inspector, right? Probably the most underrated and yet important job in the Coast Guard, and I can appreciate that. New York was and continues to be an exceptional place to learn the marine inspector craft. You will see stuff there you will not likely see anywhere else. And under the direction of folks like Jimmy Castillo, Chris Cueto, Brian Fisher, John Ellen, Mason received his domestic and foreign vessel qualifications and was well on his way to being a productive member of the inspection station. Fun fact, Mason displayed exceptional skills as a tailor. Apparently you can do that in facilities engineering. But for a small fee, and there was a fee, he would sew on collar devices and name tags to the newly introduced operational dress uniform. For those of you that don't know, okay, ODU, second acronym, but also think of it as blue pajamas, but that you can wear to work. But look, I still have my set that Mason worked on. I've never worn them, never saw the utility. Coveralls with a working blue of a marine inspector. But I digress. Okay. There was some of the other extracurricular work that Mason did for the New York Officers Association that taught Mason life skills he would use throughout his career. The value of buying in bulk at Costco. Retail sales and product placement. If you put the candy and Hot Pockets closer to the command center, profits will increase. Okay. Event organization, industry day, dining in, dining out, golf outings, and money laundering. Oh, no, I mean donation management. Okay. As the president of the New York Officers Association, I was kept out of jail, so I think that works, and the statute of limitations has run out. So, anyways, seriously, Mason had a knack and a passion to make the lives of his shipmates better, and that's a great quality. During his time in New York, he maintained a close relationship with Laura, who he met at Mass Maritime when he was a senior, and she was a freshman. Excellent. Since she was obviously not as put off by a lack of a license as some of us were, and still are. Sorry. Upon graduation with a third assistant engineer's license, rock on, in hand, she and Mason were married in May 2008. Okay, the newlyweds headed off to Portland, Maine, where Mason was assigned the assistant chief of the investigations division for Sector Northern New England. And Laura sailed on her license. Again, took it on. Okay. In typical Coast Guard fashion, Mason had to earn the Marine Investigator qualification while actively doing the job, which he did, and 3 years later fleeted up to the Investigations Division Chief's level. Apparently, Mason found time to get a master's in facility management from Mass Maritime while stationed in Portland, which really paid off for that next assignment. See, I'm from Portland, Oregon, and I'm not supposed to be sweating right now. So, at this point, Mason is on the right track as far as professional development and marine safety. He had a training tour, he had a second field tour where he added qualifications and took on some management responsibilities. Time for a staff tour. Mason and I kept in touch after I left New York in 2007, and he would call and discuss career options. By 2012, the Coast Guard Marine Safety Program had undergone significant positive change. More people, more training, more money, no place to be, okay? He could look at jobs at district offices or at Coast Guard headquarters, and as a qualified marine inspector and investigator, there should have been plenty of choices. But remember, with Mason's master's degree, he just received facilities management. Well, there's an office for that in Washington, D.C. So with a spring in his step and a song in his heart, he headed down I-95 for a staff tour in the Office of Port and Facilities Compliance. As the assistant branch chief for maritime security regulations, Mason was responsible for shepherding maritime security regulations through the development and publication process. I know, poor brain. But you know, he was an assistant branch chief, and you got to give him that. And you know, there are only 2 people in the branch, so you know his boss. So that's the whole. But still, it's all in the title, right? Okay. So regulations such as the Quick Reader Rule were incredibly popular with the maritime industry. Not okay. At some point, Laura and Mason got a boat, and instead of renting or buying a place in D.C., a place they were never going to hopefully come back to, they bought a place on Cape Cod, which again, we won't get to see later, obviously knowing they wanted to land there when the Coast Guard thing was done. Mason secured a berth at the Capitol Yacht Club before all the waterfront renovations, so it was, you know, kind of tight, kind of gritty, you know, but hey, the Capitol Yacht Club was there. And Mason and Laura split the time between the 2 locations. While his headquarters job may not have been rewarding, Captain Darwin Jensen, because you know I had to go talk to people, tells of the time when those little squeezable stress balls that Mason collected were often seen airborne in the cubicle spaces. His living at the Capitol Yacht Club allowed him to take his schmooze levels to a whole new level. In addition, Mason was able to refine his party planning skills at the Marine Inspector's Holiday. And Mark Kruger will get into that later. Despite the rundown conditions around Southwest DC waterfront, the Capitol Yacht Club berths were relatively safe from people trying to break into boat owners' property, right? Protection from people was one thing, but protection from cars? The afternoon of much like May 22nd, okay. The afternoon of January 8th, 2014, the halls of Coast Guard headquarters were buzzing. Did you hear what happened to Mason's boat? Earlier that afternoon, a car went off the seawall at the intersection of 9th and Water Streets and crashed into a boat. A boat, one boat. It was Laura and Mason's boat. Okay, you can't make this stuff up. All right? The boat was fiberglass and had some flexibility, but most of us know what happens to the core and secondary bonds of a fiberglass vessel when it's involved in an collision. And for those of you civilians out there, I did not mispronounce collision. It is an allision, a moving object coming into contact with a fixed object, Mason's boat. Okay. Boat was considered a total loss. That didn't stop Mason and Laura from living on the, as Mason puts it, broken boat, until they could buy a new boat. And in April of 2014, Mason orchestrated my own retirement ceremony, followed by a reception at the old Capitol Yacht Club. His attention to detail ensured a successful event, just like we're going to have here today. I gave him my Lieutenant Commander shoulder boards that I had been saving for the right person. Someone with a passion for the program, but also someone who strived to make life just a little bit better for his peers and subordinates. I knew he would need them at some point. Just didn't know how long it would take. So, anyway, summer of 2015 was another transfer of I-95 to Sector Southeast New England. And again, just to say hi to Mike. And he was in charge of facilities compliance, but was also a Marine inspector and investigator. He knew the job, not much challenge. So the only way to move up was to get promoted. And Mason put on Lieutenant Commander in July 2017 and was transferred to Sector Anchorage as Inspections Division Chief. It's a good job. Leadership, management, in the provincial workforce. But why Alaska? 2 words. Geographic diversity. You remember those phone calls that so Mason and I would have phone calls about his career and stuff like that? I said, Mason, you may want to consider not just leaving the East Coast, which I know is hard, but you may want to consider, going a few different places. And so Alaska was it. He had burned up the same 500 miles on I-95 his entire 12-year career to that point. If he was looking to make commander, he needed to show the Coast Guard he was open to nationwide assignment, even if he wasn't. So, Alaska tour has one huge bright spot, and that is Margot. So Margot was born in Alaska. And even in Alaska, Mason managed to support the Marine Inspector's holiday party by getting us set up with a brand new. So they did this whole renovation in DC in the waterfront. The brand new Capitol Yacht Club space. It was almost too nice for a bunch of knuckle-dragging, coverall-wearing Marine inspectors. And honestly, after a couple years, we yearned for the wide open spaces and free parking at TISCOM in Alexandria, Virginia. Okay? So, but again, Mason had and gave us that opportunity. So time flies when you're having fun, and after 3 years in Alaska, with back-to-back field tours, Mason was staring down another staff tour. This time he got lucky and landed in the 1st Coast Guard District in Boston. Sure, it was COVID and a real poop show for managing compliance inspections and facilities in the northeastern United States. And yes, I said poop. Okay. And with spare time on their hands, Mason and Laura welcomed Alan. So promotion to commander came in 2023, and with that, Mason was detailed to his final assignment as Prevention Department Head in Sector Southeast New England. In total, over his 21-year career, he tallied 15 years in the Northeast, like a 180-mile difference. And brings us to today, retirement from active duty with the Coast Guard. When you consider what a large part of Mason, Laura, and their daughters' lives the Coast Guard has been, this is a big step. Having been in the Coast Guard myself over 26 years, I can say being in the Coast Guard is not simply what we do for a living. Our core values of honor, respect, and devotion to duty are not just words. They shape the way we approach life and interact with others. That's why you never really leave the Coast Guard. It becomes part of you. During the course of a Coast Guard career in uniform, people are asked to do a lot. Inevitably, there are separations from loved ones, frequent moves, missed holidays, and other hardships. As one progresses in a successful career, there is an increasing burden of responsibility. The issues become more ambiguous, the decisions more difficult, and the right path hard to discern. A military career brings with it some truly personal challenges, and the reward for hard work is usually more work. But along these challenges come a great sense of pride that with all the hardships, you have given something of value to your nation and the public you serve. Laura, thank you for providing the support and the patience, especially the patience, through all the challenging times Mason's demanding career has brought to you and your family. Mason, while we don't yet know what the future holds for your next chapter, Marine safety professionals of your caliber always land well. And in your case, if you don't feel the Coast Guard or the Marine industry is a good fit, you have a great and lucrative future in party or wedding planning. In fact, I've already got like the URL, but you know, it'd be www.masons on the Cape. So Mason, look, I'm going to wrap it up. Go forth, do great things. We expect nothing less out of you. Thank you. Mason, here, put the hand on you. We have formal recognition now, too. And there'll be more mocking later, but.
So Kevin Christensen will now recognize Commander Wilcox for his final quarter of service as Prevention Department Head at Sector Southeast New England. Will the audience please rise as you're able for the reading of the award? Military members, attention to award. Citation to accompany the award of the Coast Guard Meritorious Service Medal to Commander Mason C. Wilcox, United States Coast Guard. Commander Wilcox is cited for meritorious service in the performance of duty as Prevention Department Head at Sector Southeast New England from July 2023 to August 2026. Visionary leader at the forefront of maritime innovation, he bolstered the Coast Guard's operational model for unmanned maritime systems and expertly managed the country's highest concentration of operators in offering foundational guidance that shaped all future-wide service-wide policies. He set new precedents for modernized wing and ground crafts by directing the complex Marine Casualty Investigation Act created foundational safety and oversight standards for this novel industry, paving a path for the future inspected wing vessels. Furthermore, he led a national effort for the $1.5 billion Maritime Academy vessel fleet, championing the implementation of the International Safety Management Code, harmonizing standards across 6 officer-in-charge marine inspection zones to guarantee the highest level of safety for thousands of future U.S. merchant mariners and ensure the sustainability of the U.S. marine transportation system. His distinctive accomplishments culminate a distinguished career of 21 years and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Coast Guard. Commander Wilcox's dedication and devotion to duty are most heartily commended and are in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard. Signed, Hemmings Platt, Rear Admiral, U.S. Coast Guard, Commander, Northeast District. Everybody be seated now. This time we'd like to have Kevin Wilcox, Margo and Madeline, please join us on the stage. Right. Yep. Certificate of appreciation from the United States Coast Guard. To all who shall see these presents reading. This is to certify that Captain Laura Wilcox has earned grateful appreciation for her unselfish, faithful, and devoted service during her husband's Coast Guard career. Her unfailing support and understanding helped make possible her husband's lasting contribution to the nation. Given this 14th day of August, 2026, signed, Kevin E. Lundy, Admiral of the United States Coast Guard, Commandant. This is a certificate of appreciation awarded to Margo and Madeline Wilcox. To all who shall see these presents reading, thank you on behalf of the United States Coast Guard for the support you provided your father while he served our country. You should know that your father's successful career has been challenging and required unselfish devotion to serve others. He was required to do Coast Guard work that prevented him from spending more time with you. He would have preferred to be home to help when you needed him, but his outstanding work for our country was also very important to your future. Your understanding has been essential to his success. The United States Coast Guard thanks you for your support. Given this 14th day of August, 2026, signed Kathleen Moon, Commanding Officer, Sector Southeastern New England. The crew and Sector Southeastern New England wish to extend their thanks to Commander Wilcox for his guidance and leadership. On his retirement, they are here to wish him the best and present him with a few parting gifts. Lieutenant McFadden and Lieutenant Koholt. So, this was actually made by one of the warrant officer inspectors in our office, who was actually since transferred to Sector Columbia River. So, a lot these days. That'll be back in the house later for the party, so if anybody wants to sign the back, feel free to take that opportunity at the house. All right. Before sending Commander Wilcox forth into retirement, we have a few more presentations. Again, Lieutenant McFadden and Lieutenant Koholt will present Commander Wilcox with his shadow box. The tradition of presenting a shadow box to a retiring sailor is born of early British custom. In the days of sail, when Britain ruled the seas, it was considered bad luck for a sailor upon final departure from a ship to allow his shadow to hit the pier before he departed the ship. In order to ensure no such misfortune befell their shipmate, the crew constructed a box of the finest timber and placed within it all the things that reflected his accomplishments. Only then could the man, with the shadow of himself in hand, safely depart the ship and go ashore once and for all. This time I'd like Commander Grace Spencer will join us at the podium for the reading of the duty. I will now read the poem, The Duty, Author Unknown. For 21 years, this inspector has stood the duty. While some of us have slept in our bunks at night, this inspector has stood the duty. Yes, even before some of us were born into this world, this inspector stood the duty. In those years, when the storm clouds of war were seen brewing on the horizon of history, this inspector stood the duty. This inspector stood the duty. Countless times he was required to leave the comforts of his home and family Another Catalyst response late night repair call for one last efficiency and clear. Interrupting holidays, birthdays, and other long-planned family events, yet this inspector stood the duty. He stood the duty for 21 years. That's always supporting the Mariner, safeguarding our commercial fleets, and protecting our ports. So that we, our families, and our fellow countrymen could sleep soundly, knowing our waters are safe. Today we are here to say, Commander, the duty stands relieved. Relieved by those you have trained, guided, and led, Commander, you stand relieved. We have the duty. You're all the recall to this. Captain Christensen will now present Commander Wilcox with the certificate of retirement. Certificate of retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these present greetings. This is to certify that Commander Mason C. Wilcox, having been retired after honorable service in the United States Coast Guard, is awarded this testimonial as an acknowledgement of duty faithfully performed during a period of over 21 years. Then at Washington, D.C., 14th day of August, 2026, signed Kevin E. Lundy, Admiral, U.S. Coast Guard, Commandant. Next, we'll read the Certificate of Appreciation. For service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Commander Mason C. Wilcox. I extend to you my personal thanks and sincere appreciation of our grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during critical time in this history with devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of the military service. I trust that in the coming years you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces, the purpose of what you serve. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of the American freedoms. My best wishes for you and happiness and success in the future. I am Commander-in-Chief. Yeah. Commander Wilcox will now read his orders. From Commander, Coast Guard Personnel Command, to Commander Wilcox. Subject, retirement from active duty. Detach from all duties immediately and proceed without delay to your normal selection in connection with your retirement from active duty. Thank you for your many contributions to the U.S. Coast Guard and the sacrifices that you have made to your country. Best wishes for the future. Wow. Wow. I just gotta read it, right? It just got real. Just finally did. Only miracle. I think the guys are guessing how many times I dropped that bomb today, but I promise I won't.
It's a children's present.
Big person.
They might do it by accident.
All right, here it goes. So just as a heads up, I wrote this back in April when my assignment officer said there was no really ability left. I'm done. So as a bit of a way to get myself over the fact that I was done, I wrote this. I've tweaked a little bit, but here goes nothing. Thanks, Alan. Water, not water.
I'm good. It's gonna get more interesting real fast.
It'll get interesting real fast. Well, we all thought this day would never come. Mostly because many of you assume that I would have been escorted out of headquarters years ago by security. I know what you're all thinking. How is he still here? Believe me, I'm just as shocked as you all are. After 21 years of testing the absolute limits of every sector commander's patience, it's a genuine miracle that this didn't end up with a cardboard box and did not return over 15 years ago. Yet through some combination of clerical errors, several internal investigations, and pure luck, my CAC, my ID card, it actually worked this morning as I sent my final out of office message. And I somehow reached the finish line without a formal deposition. Where's Brett? Brett, he's somewhere in here. I understand you're on standby as DPIO in case this goes sideways. Just remember, I was never here, you never met me. All right. In all seriousness, thank you all for being here today. It means a lot to see so many familiar faces, friends, and family. I want to start by specifically thanking my family for all the support from all over the years, and Eric for presiding over this chaos of today, and Mike for being the master of ceremonies. 21 years sounds like a long time, but standing here today feels like it went by in a flash. It seems like it was just yesterday I was walking down the steps at 212 Coast Guard Drive, Staten Island. They say persistence is the key. My career is proof of that. I actually had to apply twice to get into the Coast Guard. I wouldn't be standing here today without the incredible support of retired Admiral Mary Landry and Captain Doreen McCarthy, one of our fine alumni from this establishment. Thank you both for believing me early on. My calling to serve came directly from my late grandfathers, both Floyd and Arnold. Grandpa Floyd was a World War II veteran who took immense pride in his service with the National Armed Guard, Naval Armed Guard, protecting the Merchant Marine. It was from him where I got my first introduction to the Merchant Marine and what they stood for. Grandpa Arnold served in the Army during the Korean War. Growing up, they just didn't tell me about their service. They showed me what it meant to stand for something. I've spent 21 years trying to live up to that standard, even if I took a more scenic route than they did. But one thing I've learned throughout the journey is that if you're not pushing the limits of leadership, policy, and regulations, you're just a status quo. Nothing changes for the better. I didn't push those boundaries just to be difficult. I pushed them because the standard of service set for me by my grandfathers, Floyd and Arnold, demanded nothing less than the absolute best for the people I led. So how did we get here? It started with a family trip to New England with my parents, Randy and Lisa. We were driving up I-95, and my father had a bright idea. Let's stop at the Coast Guard Academy and see if they do tours. We found the library where my mother, where's mom? There you are. My mom, being my mom, somehow persuaded some unfortunate cadet for a private 4-hour tour of the academy. It's probably some retired captain now. After that tour, I knew two things. One, I really wanted to join the Coast Guard. And two, not at that school. Sorry for all the academy grads. But I walked away with a huge Coast Guard sticker on the back of my blue JanSport backpack that was there for years, and I wore it with pride. From there, my journey took a few twists. In high school, I joined the Air Force ROTC. Big thanks to some of the senior leadership I had there, both Kevin Skelly and Al Gargas, for their foundation at the beginning of my life in the military. I applied to Kings Point, but I made the alternate list. And looking back, I'm happy I actually didn't get in. That made Mass Maritime my backup school. And what an adventure it turned out to be. While at Mass Maritime, I almost strayed from the path. I was this close to joining the Air Force. Where's Adam? Yeah. Already had the right color uniform, but thanks to the persistence of my Coast Guard recruiter, Rebecca Walthour, who just retired a couple months ago. Yeah. I made it through the process. While I waited to get accepted to direct commission school, I worked for Gallagher Marine Systems. I saw a couple people from MTN. Worked on the Athos 1 spill. Worked on the Delaware River. Went up the Dutch Harbor and worked on the Sellendang spill. Worked on the Bouchard 120 spill. Had a good time. I want to thank all those fine folks, Dave, Tom, Ed, the late friends, Brian, Randy, Jack, and Walter for all the support. Fun times over those days. I guess I did a good enough job during the 2003 spill. Thank you, Bouchard. Gallagher hired me back for all those other jobs. Good money. And here's the irony. Once I got in the Coast Guard, Monica Rochester was my detailer, and she looked at my degree and said, "Do you have any background on oil spills?" Not a single day, ma'am. It was 7 months, 12-hour days, 7 days a week, and I was just done being covered in oil. So she saw my engineering degree and sent me to Sector in New York as an apprentice inspector. It was baptism by fire. The pace was relentless. Learning curve was steep. The personalities were large. It's where I learned inspections, enforcement, and the art of standing your ground without burning bridges. Most of them. I learned the trade of inspections from some of the finest inspectors in the Coast Guard. They'll be named again. Brian Fisher, Chris Cueto, Jimmy Castillo. I think you called them the Flyers.
I would not say that.
Eric Bernholtz, many of our great warrants, Ralph Saberpool, and some not so many great. My first boss, coincidentally, was Captain Eric Chang, Kings Pointer, which was kind of refreshing because he wasn't your typical Kings Pointer. And there were other JOs I had to work with, Mark Labert, Doug Saley, Queen Park. I also, and Sarah, you're here, sorry. I also learned about the Chiefs mess and always have a strong bond with the Chiefs. Made some fun times with them. Just can't talk about it anymore. And of course, Eric Christensen. After 2 decades, I'm proud to announce that on my final day, I can finally spell your last name correctly. You were the first Cal grad I ever met, and you fit every type of casual maritime. But you're a great department head, one of the best I've ever had to work for. Go right, Justin, you were right there too. Many people call you my sea daddy. Looking back, thank you for all the years of wisdom you've given me. I don't think I would have made it this far in my career without your guidance. From the chaos of New York, I headed in northern New England, my second D1 tour. I was trying to, be the next key family of never leaving D1. That was a big chapter for me personally. I bought my first house, got married, and I worked with some really great folks, not so many great ones as well. But I really enjoyed my time as an investigator. I learned why we do these cases, why we investigate casualties, and how we help to change the culture of the industry. Kevin Beck taught me the critical importance of meticulous detail in case reports. Even his formatting notes drove me completely out of my mind. Get a lot of red pen. And Kevin, he was our chief of inspections, Kevin Ferry. Thanks for all the support. I'll be honest, there were some really stressful times, but you kept me going. And thank you for the quiet office space to eat my lunch every day when I needed to get away from everyone else. It's where you and your family learned the love of sailing by crewing with me on those crazy Wednesday night sails in South Portland. There's some other sailing craft in here too. I was proud to be part of your family, even if I almost took out your left knee with a straight hammer. More about that, not now, later. And worked with other greats, Brian Gilda, Brian Downey, another fine alumni of this institution. We've been a couple of Mass Maritimers so far. There were a lot of challenges, but the personalities that tested, there were personalities tested by patients, but that tour definitely matured me. I got to headquarters and I walked in with a meet and greet with senior staff. It was then Captain Paul Thomas. And I asked him, so what's new? And he's like, well, I'll be funding your program. I was supposed to doing some external affairs type of stuff with maritime security. But fortunately, Greg Callaghan, one of the best SUNY grads I've ever had to work for, the only SUNY grad I've ever worked for, took me under his wing, made me his assistant jump out of the window at Coast Guard headquarters. They also did it open. I also got to work with Eric again. Lucky. And the cast of the characters at the Office of Travel Inspectors. You know, Mark Kruger, Travis Taylor, Mike Odom, and other names I don't forget. Despite the bureaucracy, I'm incredibly proud of the work our team accomplished here. Further tightening maritime security regulations, laying the very groundwork for rebuilding our entire prevention infrastructure. MSM, PSC, still have flashbacks of that. Oh, out of order. There's 2 page shuttles. The detailer called me out of the blue and said, hey Mason, would you like to go to Sacramento Over, as we affectionately call it sometimes? Well, Laura and I were living on our second boat, and I said, sure, let's go. Drop the dock flags on the back. I worked with some great people there, Carl. It's all Ray Rock here somewhere. Some of the other godfathers of D1, Keith. He occasionally got to work, but it was always great to work with him. And Carl, thanks for all the lessons, all the guidance and wisdom. I never knew a washed-up bosun could be such a great inspector. Luckily, I was eventually got promoted to 04. A little rough time back then. I couldn't have done it without the help of Sarah Ellis Sanborn, while watching live from Valdez, so she woke up on time. And Barbara Wilk, all the times we spent reviewing records. The 2 of them, I would not have made it to 04 without your help and guidance. A lot of smart words on the OERs. Thank you for being such great friends over these years. And yes, I finally accept your apology from the golf ball incident of 2008 when you almost killed me. I have pictures later. Now, I'm not saying I was sixth sense for disaster, but my timing at Sector Southeastern New England was perfect. The week before I reported, there was a boatload of drunk college students that were on a boat parked on the rocks in Woods Hole. High Piper, yeah. I missed that by days. Since I hadn't checked in yet, it wasn't my problem. And then fast forward to my departure. 24 hours later, there was a little incident down in Hyannis, steamship beside the park at INO on the jetty. There's some steamship. But guess what? I already checked out. Not my problem. Another major casualty, another bullet I dodged. I seem to have an incredible talent for being out of the office for some of those major casualties. So for the sake of everyone in this room today, let's just hope my luck holds out for a few more hours and things stay exceptionally quiet. Just for you, Greg. With promotion comes transfer. It was a transfer season. It was a transfer season lottery. Out of 16 jobs, there was Mike Bonner as a detailer. I got number 15, Anchorage, Alaska. Laura found out we were going to Anchorage with a box of Extra Toughs showed up on the front doorstep of the house. I did get a WTF from that. But I'm not gonna lie, I went there kicking and screaming all the way across the country. And it often happens, the people made the place. Justin, You were an awesome boss, an awesome Texas Maritime grad. Thank you for covering me for all those times. I want to fight the entire city of Nome. Or fist fight Paul Mailer. Yet another alumni of this institution who finally paid his dues after I called him out. Yeah, all the alumni in the room, pay your dues. And then there was other great people I worked with, Dave, Melissa, and his family. Thanks for the support, the daycare services when Margot was born. It was extremely difficult to get daycare in Alaska. But Dave and Melissa did it, help us. He was a fellow division head. He tried to keep me grounded, though not always successful. And I know they're watching remotely today. And I was so lucky to have them come back and work with us here in Providence. Some other people I worked with, Jeremy Altendorf, one of the weirdest reservists, but I wouldn't have traded for the world. Nicole and Bernie, thank you for the love and support from Juneau, me and my inside district. I'm happy we can call you friends and family, and now you live in all the land of D1, New Hampshire. Some of my non-Coast Guard friends, but definitely close family, the Lucias, the Grunts, and the Austins. I saw Jeremy representing. Alaska would have been very dull without you guys. Those long nights of drinking the finest wines and eating some of the best food of my life. You were the family that Laura and I needed, as our family was thousands of miles from us on the East Coast. Oh yeah, Margo up here, we're up there too. Wild ride. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Sometimes the assignments you resist the most become the ones you cherish. During COVID, I came back to the first district to work with Rich Schultz again. I had some incredible junior officers there, Tom Whalen, one of the best lieutenants I've ever had to work for me. I'm right there next to Dave Parker. I worked for Trevor Cowling. It's a good thing he gave me good OERs. A couple months prior to his retirement, I hired the Coast Guard's lucky. We dealt with some major events, Spirit of Boston Fire, I don't think they didn't want to blow people around. And of course, the Titan submarine implosion case. And of course, every appeal from the field that I had fun overturning, just despite them all. And that'll end up here too. Don't worry. Finally, I made it back to Sector Southeastern New England. I've had the absolute pleasure of finishing my career with some of the best folks I've ever known. Dave, Greg, Keith, Alan, Elijah, Colin, Carrie, Greg too, TL, Carl, Roger, and there's a bunch of other people I'm missing. But thank you all for making this what it is. Laura, we found out we were moving to Alaska because of a pair of extra cups. You've had to reinvent your own life consistently, always finding amazing jobs to continue your career, whatever random zip code Coast Guard sent us to. You've handled every single move. Even long, lonely nights when I had those 2 a.m. duty calls to rush out to Whittier, Alaska for an exploding barge. You're the reason I had a home to come back to. You're the reason I stayed grounded when this job got dark and heavy. You've always outranked me, especially today. And Margot, Madeline, you two, without question, are the greatest assignments I've ever received. In a career defined by 835s, Marine casualty 2692s, inspections, high stress challenges, seeing your faces at the end of a long day was the only thing that truly made the sacrifice worth it. 3 pages long. They say a Coastie's entire life is packed into a sea bag, but having you two in mind has been a greatest blessing. You didn't just keep me grounded, you fundamentally made me a better leader. You helped me understand the delicate, heavy weight of work-life balance. Because of you, I learned to lead with more grace and much deeper understanding of the family serving alongside me. Everyone in this service should be so lucky to have that perspective in their sea right. Thank you for being my home, no matter where the Coast Guard took us. Mike, I want to take a moment to thank you for being our master ceremonies today. Our journey started back in 2008 in Yorktown. And looking back, I had no idea that meeting you would lead to a lifelong friendship. You would never know that he went to Kings Point. From being roommates to navigating those long TDY nights together, we won't talk about you, me and Phil. Back in my Jeep Wrangler, yeah, on Mill Creek. You've been more than just a colleague, you've been a friend, family. I'll never forget the time you brought me a bacon-covered donut all the way from Portland, Oregon, keeping it on ice in a hotel trash can, just so I could eat it the next day. That's the type of guy you are. Later on, at headquarters, you were the one who kept me sane, whether it was the daily grind in the office or adventurous sailing on the Potomac River. Even after your kids almost got us arrested by Metro PD. We were in the boat and they were shooting like this with fingers. Through it all, you've been a brother to me in every sense of the word. For 20 years, you've been the person I can count on, and I'm so grateful for you standing up here today as my MC. Thank you for everything, Mike. There's still another 20 years of friendship. If I had to learn one thing over 21 years, it's this. It's all about building relationships, both internally and externally. And of course, none of those solutions would have been possible without the incredible network of people in this room and across the waterfront. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to our core partners, the OGAs, and educational institutions for an unwavering commitment to our shared vision. To all the port captains, pilots, vessel reps, thank you for exceptional leadership and daily dedication in keeping things moving safely. I even owe a sincere debt of gratitude to opposing councils. Your tough questions kept us sharp, honest, and always striving for excellence. True port cooperation is a team sport, and it's always been an honor of a lifetime to work alongside leaders of your caliber. A paragraph that double place here. I watch a lot of incredibly smart people struggle because they try to figure out the master problems entirely on their own. I realized that early on, I didn't need to know or have all the answers, just needed to know who did. Somehow, I always was able to phone a friend and come up with a solution. Even if that solution was occasionally questionable, walk the razor thin line with that review. Looking around this room, I see a lot of friends I can call who are not afraid to ask those questions with me. But let me be clear, starting tomorrow, any phone calls to me, you'll get an invoice from Wilcox Marine Consulting. All right, almost there. Sorry. I want to leave you with this one thought. It's the core of why we do what we do, why we climb into confined spaces, crawl in the mud of shipyards, and why we spend sleepless nights investigating casualties. Admiral Linda Fagan once said, the status position, if we don't move beyond the status quo, we'll become irrelevant as an organization. In our world, the status quo is often our greatest enemy. It's easy to walk on board a vessel and blindly check the boxes, because that's the way we've always done it. But that's exactly where the fatal risk hides. Real oversight requires us to be more than just passive observers. It requires us to be investigators of why. Why is this process in place? Why do we accept this specific margin of error? If we stop asking those questions, we aren't just doing a disservice to the maritime industry. We're becoming irrelevant to the mission of preventing the loss of life. It's about pushing boundaries carefully enough that you don't get fired, but firmly enough that something actually sticks. It's about having the courage to challenge long-standing norms when the data simply doesn't back it up. Thank you for all the memories, the support, and for being part of this ride. To my colleagues, thank you for being co-conspirators in my 21-year journey. You've been my mentors, my sounding boards, and on more than one occasion, my backup. We faced challenges together that only people in this room can truly understand. I'm going to miss those late night conference calls and barges exploding at 2 a.m. But speaking of which, the night is still young, and who knows what might happen. But officially, not my problem anymore. It's all yours, great. That thing's still floating. To my family, thank you for the sacrifices you made while I was off chasing my calling. You're the reason I had a home to come back to, the reason I stayed grounded, even when the job got tough. I'm walking out of here today with a lot of memories, a few close calls with HR, and a heart full of gratitude. It has been an honor of a lifetime to serve alongside all of you. Thank you for being part of my career, my story. And finally, witnessing the day the Coast Guard actually lets me leave on my own terms. Semper Gratis.
At this time, Rabbi Zinn will now provide the benediction.
As this, please rise.
Skip that line, my bad. Fired.
As this powerful ceremony draws to a close, we pause to give thanks and gratitude for having the privilege to gather to honor and at times roast Commander Mason Wilcox. We join together in prayer. Psalm 21 says, I lift up my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from the eternal maker of heaven and earth. God will guard your going and coming now and forever. As you transition from the unpredictability of the sea to the stability of the shore, Mason, Psalm 121 serves as a reminder that you no longer watch over us, that we watch over you together. We give thanks for the stories shared, for the legacy you remembered, and the profound impact of a career well served. For all of us here, may we depart inspired by this moment we have witnessed and committed to living a life of integrity and honor. May we be mindful of our neighbors, and may we be peacemakers in our communities. We close with the ancient words of the priestly benediction that's blessed our people for thousands of years. In Hebrew, we say, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yar'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May God's light shine down upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God always be with you, bringing you many blessings of fullness, of wholeness, and of peace. Together we say, Amen. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the playing of Semper Gratis and the departure of the official party. Now, Captain United States Coast Guard, retired. Now, Commander, United States Coast Guard, retired. So ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's ceremony. The Wilcox Family would like to thank each of you for joining them today in this time-honored tradition. You're cordially invited to join us back at the Wilcox compound at noon for a reception. Any guests that are joining us at the Wilcox residence, please make your way there immediately. There's a lot of folks here. You're going to be joining us over at the Wilcox compound. Wait to say congratulations to Mason there. Let people that are not going to be able to join us over there to say their congratulations to him before you depart. And thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, we. Oh, yeah. I got it. Good.
Great stuff.